Hear
anybody.
me?
So, just a moment. I think I'm going to kill
I'm
this
here.
stream. Oh, can you hear me, Veretta?
And so Ernesto, but I think we're having technical difficulties again.
We are. So, just a moment.
So you've reached
I am going to
the
kill the
Uranus
stream and then I'm going
show,
to start a
or
new
the
one.
Uranus Happens
So,
show.
for everybody who's on the
And
line, if
we
you can
have,
hear me right now, come back and we'll
can you
start this
hear this
again in just
Sunday
a moment.
morning?
Start your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure if we can at least even get that far. Hello. Let me, fingers crossed. Veretta, can you hear me? Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I have no
Yes,
idea
yes.
why they're doing that on Blog Talk Radio, but I had to. There's some weirdness with the connection, but I'm so glad that we got you on. That it's not the nightmare that it was yesterday. So maybe on the next show we can even get that fixed. So here
That'd be
we are
great.
today. I'm glad that everybody is here. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Today is Sunday, 9:30. This is the Uranus Happens Show live here on Blog Talk Radio, powered by eastrologer.tv. I'm Ernesto. I'm your host. I'm a Uranian astrologer, and I am joined by Veretta, who is a master of metaphysics and an intuitive counselor and psychic medium. We're going to be here today to have some spiritual conversations with you guys, and also to talk about the future and see what's coming down the turnpike for you all. So, as I think some of you may be aware, that my email imploded recently, so I lost access to our guest book. So I really apologize that I don't know who everybody is the way that I used to. I Please bear with me. I do have your chart data, so that's the great news. I just lost access to some of our record keeping, so I will take care of this again and get it back up and running, hopefully the way it was. But that's going to take some time. In the meantime, Veretta, is there anything that we need to know in the energies coming up ahead for this week?
Well, other than the August in Mercury retrograde, we do have a lot of challenge in transition. We have a lot of challenge in being able to think on our feet. So we're going to be pushed to our paces of really trying to manage how we delegate our energy to the stuff ahead of us that's coming at us in life and what we're dealing with in the moment. So people are going to learn to juggle, whether they knew they could or not, this coming week.
And also, just one more thing I forgot to mention here. For anybody who would like a free live reading and you're watching from our YouTube or a Facebook stream, be sure to call the show directly. We can monitor the chat room, but we don't take any registrations for readings in those chat queues. So give us a call here on the show. It's 563-999-3070. And we'll be here for the next 2 hours until 11:30, or unless if we finish up early, we'll let you know about that. So, Mercury retrograde, it's moving backwards and it's going to be challenging. For me personally, I know this effect normally hits us about 3, if not 4 times in a year. And it's always the one in the fall, summer, the late summer to the early fall. That's the one that's going to absolutely kill me when it comes to, technology kinds of things. So all of the IT mishaps that you expect to happen, that's associated with that Mercury retrograde, for me, that always happens. And this, time, late summer, early fall, it's really ripe to just completely savage my life. And that's really what's going on, because when pro tip for everybody who's out there listening, never let your Google account expire due to a payment issue. It's really sort of a nightmare to get that fixed. I have to contact somebody that's called a domain registrar. I didn't even know that such a person existed, and that they can help me to get my things all fixed up again. It's just a mess. So don't let that slide, you guys. It's too important, especially when, Google really has you by the balls for about like 90% of things on the internet anyway. So, my advice to you is, just stay on top of things. Don't let it spiral out of control. And of course, the one thing that a lot of people don't really remember is that when everything stays the same, you get the same results. the only way that you're going to get what you're really looking for is to challenge your thoughts and behaviors by doing that scary thing that you've really been putting off that you just don't know if you're capable of. That's the only thing that's really going to create some different energy in your life, because everything else is just so stagnant. So a lot of us get stuck in these behavior patterns and cycles that are comfortable because we know this, and we know that if I do what's comfortable to me, then that's better because everything is easy and everything is normal. But if you're if your quality of life is still pretty damp and it's just not what you want it to be, well, that's because you're not breaking out of that mold and inciting some new behaviors and lifestyle changes. So that's going to be my advice to you, is that, try to do these new things, even just a little bit, see what it does for you. If it gives you the results that, that you're looking for just as a trial, then there's probably something to that. My mom's a great example of this. She takes like this garlic witch's potion concoction. I have no idea how to describe it. It sounds absolutely terrible. And she even herself says that the taste is just the worst. But what it does for arthritis, I guess, is quite miraculous. So she says that she continues to take it because she knows it works. So, I mean, that's a great example of somebody, or, something that you can do for yourself that this sounds like a really terrible thing. I don't want this, but it works. I did it as a trial and I liked it. So let's stick with it. Now let me see what happens if I keep this momentum going. That challenging your thoughts is not necessarily that we're going to throw you to the wolves or that you have to jump off of a bridge. You can do those things, but you can start slow. You can go easy. It doesn't have to be all at once. I'm of the belief that if we do something full force the first time around, then it's just going to fall apart and we're not going to come back. That some structure and some comfort, we do need that. So take baby steps. Remember, every little bit counts.
That's right. Every little bit does count. And if you start to falter, it's just a falter. It's not a fail. Don't, if you start to falter, like with your energy or doing whatever, you miss time or whatever the issue is that you're creating for yourself in your routine, if you start to falter, don't, just stop and think, well, I can't make this. I can't do this. It's too hard. Keep going. Keep going. Pick yourself up and keep going. That's the best thing that you can do.
And don't forget that Confucius always said, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do something, so long as you keep doing it. And there really is a lot of truth to that. You don't get better at playing the piano by just looking at the notes on the page. You actually have to practice. You actually have to do it. It's just like the same thing with astrology. The only way you get better at reading a chart is by reading charts. And that's what we do here on the show. So that's one of the things that makes us unique over other programs, is that we actually do the work, whereas other people just talk about it.
Yeah. All right.
So on that note, we are going to get off to our phone lines here. We have some calls building up today. Want to get off to take some great phone calls. We're going to start out with area code 916 here. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Ernesto?
Yes.
Hi, it's Becky.
Becky, perfect. Hi, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Perfect. All right. So I got your chart up here now. Becky, would you like a general reading, or do you have a question about an issue today?
No, actually, you had reached out to me and asked me to come in because I have a funny chart for the next month.
You do, yeah. You've got some big things coming up, and there's some big changes. So, I think here's something about the Mercury retrograde energy, you guys. So, if you want to talk about horrible scopes for a second, the whole 12th house concept behind astrology, that Mercury retrograde is falling within the sign of Libra. So we don't use a lot of like the generalities that people try to throw at that sign or energy. Really what I think the ancients tried to do with the concept of signs was to make some generalizations about some keyword norms that people could kind of attach to. It just didn't work 100% of the time, which is why in the Uranian landscape we used those energies a lot differently. Point is, because Mercury falls still within that sign, that we're going to be, reviewing conversations that have to do with love issues. And I know that for you, Becky, that this has been a pretty major theme that's been coming up for the past number of years, that you've got some love conversations that kind of hit the fan recently, and so now this Mercury retrograde is gonna be interesting for you, because I would almost expect that you're gonna have some conversations that are gonna come up about love issues that you're gonna have to review and make a choice on. So you're gonna be presented with more information. That planet's gonna be really challenging you. I think that it might be somewhat distressing during this influence, that you're going to find that there's just sort of almost too much to keep up with, but it'll go away once we hit about October. Once that influence goes back into its direct motion, then you're going to see that you won't be as affected by it, but you're actually going to have the information you need to make those decisions and choices, or to have those talks with other people to let people know what you want. I do think that you are going to move, but that probably won't be until about the first of the year, unless if you're able to scramble and make that happen within like the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's pretty unrealistic in most cases, because most people just aren't ready like that. But, I would say that now is a time when you want to get some more ideas about where you want to be moving to, because that's going to be coming up after the first of the year. Greta, what do you have?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, well, so I'm sitting here listening, and I'm totally on track, feeling you say that, she's got changes, she's got decisions to make, she's got things she's going to have to do. The move, however, caught me off guard. And so as you were talking, I pinged it. And yes, there is definitely consideration in major change of location. But I'm not sure if it's a flat out move, or one that would suggest you do, like, I don't know, traveling. Not just traveling, though. Maybe you're house hopping, staying in one place and you're juggling the other. Because I don't see it consistent. I see it very sporadic in the energy that you have to involve yourself with to keep going in this manner with the partner that you'd like to be in.
It makes sense. I don't
really, because
foresee...
I don't even have a clue what I just said. I'm trying to recap what I'm hearing.
I do.
It sounds jumbled to me. Okay.
No. I know exactly what it means. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, and I can't remember if Ernesta said this is going to be very challenging to you. This is really right there up with all the rest of the things that you've had to put up with or consider or adjust to. This is going to be up there.
Over the past few years.
Yeah. Well, over the past few months, recently, you've juggled, you've accepted, it feels like, to you sometimes it feels like you failed, and all that energy is going to come back up. All that energy is going to come back up. And you're going to be, and when he says you will have the information you need to know to make these decisions, I absolutely understand that means everything is going to be black and white, crystal clear to you about where people stand and what actions they're really willing to take, or what they're prepared to do, what they're going to do, or whatever. So a lot of light will be shed that you will need to know to understand really what decisions, not just what decisions are in front of you, but like clearly where you stand in the situation. Like, you're seeing relatively exactly all the things you didn't know behind the scenes at that point.
Right. Makes sense.
Ernesto, you said by the first of the year, right? Yeah, for moving. Okay.
It'll be around the first quarter, we'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't go anyway, because I'm gone the next 3 months. So I wouldn't be here. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not feeling a time frame. I'm not getting anything that suggests there will be a limit as to when you will decisively make up your mind, or you will like push the button and kind of decide one way or the other where you're going, which way you're going. I don't see you stalling out. I don't feel you. I don't feel you moving into um, a place where you stall out. You do nothing. Um, yeah. I don't see you dwelling. I don't see you wallowing. I don't see you full of pain. So whatever the next 3 months are going to bring you, yeah, you're just going to be juggling. You're going to be juggling. So I want to say honestly more of the same until you get that black and white conclusion that tells you, okay, this is exactly what I'm dealing with. What am I going to do now?
Mhm.
And then you'll make some decisions. It'll be crystal clear what you've been dealing with and what's really in front of you, what's been going on. Now,
All right.
is it decisive what decision you'll make at that time? No, I'm not getting that. It's still open. It's still up in the air. It's still up for grabs, basically. I'm not getting exactly what the emotion of the situation pressures you to do.
Becky, I just want to add that I think that, we had a conversation like maybe about 6 weeks ago or so, like when you had a blow up and, I was looking at some stuff in your chart and you had this whole like Pandora's box, Fury's maelstrom sort of feel to it, that if I keep poking in this domain, really, really bad things are going to happen. And I think, as far as like your chart reads for those issues, you've kept away from whatever that scenario was. So that energy has since dissipated. So it's not going to be the, hell hath no fury type of thing that's going to be coming for you. It's not like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that's basically what we were looking at, was that type of just assaulting energy that was always coming for you. But that's dropped off. So I think because you and your own actions said, I'm not going to prod anymore in this other thing that's really toxic for me. What I'm looking at now is, if you can see on your chart on the screen on our YouTube stream, I've put an orange dot here, and that's just representative of what's happening with your planets, with this Moon Saturn energy. That's this big, big cluster of stuff over here in that second ring, and then this first ring of information. So what that really refers to is, it's like, this is your despair, like, for the lack of a better description, the emotion that you've been feeling throughout this entire cycle has been despair. Like that's really what you're going through. And the great news is that this cycle is going to be the end of that, because when this pointer comes to this Jupiter here, so that means there's good luck out there in the sky. We have another Jupiter that's going to be moving up there within another few weeks. So if you're going to go on a vacation or a trip or something like that, that's going to be releasing a lot of energy for you. And I think that's going to be where you're finally going to get the information, or that release that you need to say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm ready to walk away. I'm ready to do my own thing. I don't know what that is, or I think I have an idea about it, but I don't have to attach anymore to this idea or this fantasy that I used to have that this was going to come true. I thought it would, but it's just a little bit too scary for me. So I think that's the energy or the feeling that Loretta's picking up on is the despair piece, that's going to drop off and go away. And I think that's going to be just because you decided to give up on poking into Fury's maelstrom and then having all these bad things happen.
Mhm. Okay. We'll see how it goes, because it's many years. But I have been practicing a lot of self-worth and doing things a little bit different in my meditation and what I do during the day, and I've kind of come to, well, if it's to happen, it will search me and it'll find me. If not, well, then I'm just doing me.
Well, and Becky, I'm just going to tell you, like, energetically, from what I can feel in your energy field, when I first met you, when you first came to us on the show, it was just sort of like this little girl that was jumping up and down, like, ooh, what's this? I want to know so much about what's in this, and this huge sense of curiosity and excitement. But that's also very dangerous, and that was kind of poking into, look at this big prize that I won, or that I got, or that I might get, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have it. So, and now it's just where we're at today throughout this whole dialogue and journey. You're just so much more calm and centered than what you were when we first started out together. So I'm really glad to hear that you've decided to take a lot of the focus back inward to focus on yourself in this whole process, because that's really important. At the end of the day, that's all you have.
Correct. Well, and I leave on Thursday and gone for 10 days, and then I come back for 10, and then I leave for 12, and then I come back for 9, and then I leave for 9. So I have some real busy time now through the end of the year, so it'll be good.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like your busy time is really all that bad. It's relaxing. It's doing fun things.
Yes. Well, it's not relaxing because it's taking people on vacation, and that's what happens when you're a travel agent. So, yeah, It's all good. Well, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Becky, while we have you on the line real quick, give us, for everybody who's on the line, because we all like to travel, Expedia, like all of these websites have made it so easy that we can be our own travel agents now. Why should we, or I, as a consumer, hire a travel agent? Like, what are the advantages that you can get, and are there any?
Well, there's always an advantage, and it depends on the agency, and it depends on the agent and how well that agent wears their heart on their heart on their sleeve. Because as much as people love to use the internet for their travels, they are not travel agents. So they're not going to tell you when Europe is going to put into place that you have to have a visa for every country. They're not going to tell you whether you have to be vaccinated, or whether there's criteria because of COVID that they have to have, or any of those. And all of these websites online, so Expedia, Travelocity, Cheap Tickets, Priceline, all of them, they are not U.S.-based businesses. They are mainly from India. So when you call and you have a problem and say, oh, I'm in Kauai, they're going to say, where's that? That in itself is very bothersome. And more people have more problems with them than not. One very important thing that people don't understand, too, with all the changes in schedules of airfare and air schedules. So if you're on an American flight and you booked it through Expedia, you can't call American. American's not going to help you. You have to go back to Expedia. And Expedia's rules are not going to be the same as American rules because you just bought it from a third party. You have to go straight back to Expedia. Maybe you're leaving today, and Expedia puts you on hold for 12 hours, and you're supposed to be at the airport in 4. Oh, well, I'll just go to the airport, and American will help you. No, American's not going to help you. You're still going to have to go back to Expedia. So you have to be very careful. A lot of people pay the price and end up not with what their vacation is supposed to be. What's the benefit of having a travel agent? Well, I can only speak for myself. I have 36 years of experience. And so I don't charge fees. Most agents don't. When you use a travel agent, they're going to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure every bit of your vacation goes off without a hitch. And then they're going to check on you when you come back. And they can meet or beat anything out there. So what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
It's a win-win all the way around.
That's what we always like, is to win, right?
Exactly. But there are still a lot of people think that travel agents charge a fee. I get asked all the time, well, how do we pay you? You don't. I sell wholesale. So my wholesale pricing goes to the general public. More business I bring to that wholesaler, the more they take care of the agency. That's how I'm paid.
That is really great information to know. So calling a travel agent in the future whenever you need to make a trip, it's not this big scary ordeal. It's something that can actually really benefit us.
Well, yeah, because let's just say, which happens all the time, you're taking a flight from Phoenix and you're going to the Maldives, but you have 2 stopovers. Well, your second stop, which is in Charlotte, and all of a sudden there's a monsoon come through and you're delayed now. You're not going to make it to the Maldives in time to board the plane to go to your island. Okay, you're on your own. Who are you going to call? Expedia? Expedia is going to put you on hold for 12 hours. What sounds better? Knowing that you get a personal phone number to call an agent and say, hey, I'm stuck in Charlotte. Now what do I do? Well, it's my job as their agent to get on the hook and find them another way out of Charlotte to make it to the Maldives so that they can get on the small puddle jumper to go out to their island. Otherwise, you get to the Maldives, who are you going to call? You didn't put long-distance phone on your phone, and now your phone doesn't work from the Maldives. So it's a very serious thing, even if you're going just to Hawaii, because it happens to Hawaii too. It happens everywhere. And it's a great thing to have is an agent behind you.
Wow, I learned something new today. Thanks so much for that information, Becky. It was great to have you on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out. We'll catch up with you real soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Until next time. Okay, and we are going to take our next call here, which is going to be from area code 919. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth?
My name is Sandra Kay, but I go by my middle name Kay. Date of birth is 12/29/66.
Kay, you've been on the show,
You need
right?
a time?
No, I got you here.
Yes.
You were born at 420. Got it. Perfect. Now, Kay, would you like a general reading, or do you
Yes.
have a question about an issue today?
My question is kind of general, so I guess maybe a general reason would probably best. I just kind of a little bit scattered all over the place, work, relationships, so maybe general.
All right, not a problem. Let's go for it. Retta?
All right, okay. Let's see what we got for you today.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a lot of general energy, which suggests that really I'm not getting a lot of things that say, careful to become. I do see some decisions that you're going to be making. I feel like you're going to have, you've either started to make a plan or you're going to have to make a plan on how whatever it is you're going to be doing goes.
Okay.
And when I say plan, I mean you're going to have to discover what's available, what's cheap, what's kind of like, the travel aspect of what you're doing, what you would be doing. So it's like making an itinerary.
Okay.
So I feel like there'll be things you'll be doing, things you'll need to know before you can make that trip or whatever it is you'll be taking on. And it's like you being the ringmaster. I guess that's what I want to say. Yeah. So you're going to be arranging things. You're going to be putting stuff together. You're going to be the one, and there are other people included, but you're the one that's running the show.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's something about work finally working out. That sounds promising.
Well, you're
Yeah,
definitely
that's
busy
one.
in what. Yeah, you're definitely busy in what I see you moving around doing. And it looks like you're taking it serious. You know what I mean? You're really putting your effort into it to make sure that it comes out right. So.
Well, that must be my job searching. That has to be that, because I am desperately searching. So.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like you're going to get a bite of something, or you're going to find something that you can do. But like I said, it's going to take a little bit of a plan to get there. Whatever that's going to do, whatever that means to you.
Okay.
It's going to take a little bit of a plan to get there, and then So, and then once I feel the energy get started, nothing is low. There's nothing that says that you're not doing it, or you're not succeeding, or you're not making a big impact on whatever it is you want to be doing. So it's going to fall through. It's going to absolutely go through. Now, maybe Ernesto will give you a little more detail on what I'm seeing, and if that will give you exact, more specific. So whatever it is, though, you're going to have fun, Kay. So don't worry about the complexity of it. It's not going to be daunting. Not so much so that it takes you out of a comfort zone. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll leave it with that. All right, Ernesto, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I'm taking a look. So, Kay, I know your big concern right now is work, right? That's really the big thing that you need to have fixed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean
Definitely.
that's got to come. So the great news is that if you're watching our YouTube stream, there's a green dot that I put on the screen here. That's your solar arc sun. That's you out in the world. Now, if we look at like this black dot, the black dot is representative of the transits. The pink is this middle chart, and the blue is your first chart. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to line up a midpoint of energies that's going to have to do with publishing, because don't you work in like educational materials or something like that?
I do contracts, and I was previously working with an educational medical education company, which fell through, which was actually fine. But yeah, I do contracts. And
so what type of work are you looking
learning.
for right now?
Contracts. I love contracts. I want to stay in the contract arena. Contract management.
Okay, because and so you specifically want to do contract management. Now, let me take a look at that, since that's sort of a different inquiry. Let's see. Okay. Here.
I've done contract management for nearly 25 years, and I absolutely love it. So sometimes when I'm feeling like it's not working right, or things are not coming through, I won't say it's disheartening, but it's like, that's what I want to do. That's what I love to do. So to see myself going in a different direction is like, I don't know how that means, how that looks, or what that pans out to be.
Okay, so and how are you? And you're out of work right now, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
Are you out of work right now?
I'm working, but it's still working with attorneys, but it's not the same thing. It's doing accounts receivable. The job is good. I mean, I don't have any issues with the job itself. It's just the pay is so not good. I mean, I'm making like
it's not sustainable.
A little bit, yeah. Almost no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so I get the sense that your work is probably not going to be in contracts. That's going to be something different. Veretta, do you get that vibe too? That the work that Kay is going to go into is going to be a different field but similar.
Yes, I feel like your negotiation skills will still need to be applied. Now,
I think that's what scares me sometimes, and so I'm glad you're saying that, because it's hard for me to apply for something else when that's where my background lies. When a recruiter sees my resume, that's where I'm getting pulled to. That's where I get contacted. So it's like everything that I have that shows what I can do is who's contacting me and who I have interest in applying for. But if that's not panning out or that's not working, how do I move into a different area that I know nothing about? Well, I won't say know nothing about, but
so this is how it's
like,
going to happen.
I can't.
It's going to come to you.
Oh.
It's going to come to you. You aren't really necessarily going to have to reach out or act in a manner that suggests you're pointing your finger at it saying, I want you. It's coming at you. And it's going to say, hey, I think you're a good fit. You are what we need. Most leaders aren't actually become leaders by choice. They become leaders because they have to. They're put in a position to have to rise to the challenge because they're the only one capable of doing the job. And so this is where I see you being tapped because of your area of expertise and the abilities of your calm nature, your smooth tone, the ability to do your work without getting all rattled at people that don't know what they're doing and are upset. And so I see you really being able to negotiate in a manner of, okay, it's almost like you're acting as an advisor or in an advisory role in the manner that you're giving counsel and helping people remain balanced when they're coming at you with their hair on fire and all upset because they don't know what, they're not sure what someone else is doing and they don't understand and da-da-da-da. And his story to come in and say, okay, well, hey, if you try this approach, take these steps, and I think you'll find that you'll go a lot farther down the road. And people will apply what you say, and voila, it's happening. And so that's where your expertise of contract, your expertise in negotiation ability is going to come into play because you're really going to say, hey, this is what I see. And from my pedestal and the areas that I come from, these are the steps you need to take to make this happen. And so that's the type of thing that you will be doing regardless of how it's approached or what it is you engage in. Ultimately, those are the strengths that you will apply. And you'll be basically just letting people, run their self amok, but also helping them know that, okay, well, yes, that's one approach, but if you want to try a calm approach, these are the steps that I would take, and you just let them do their own thing, but give them great advice. So I think that for you is going to be, so two feelings come up right away. That for you is going to be your ultimate role in work and output of energy, and it will be also a little bit of a sacrifice in that it may not be the title that you're used to carrying, but it is an extreme supportive role that you'll actually love and be in your element in. So don't let it don't look at someone coming at you and say, hey, I got a driving job that I'm really thinking that you're going to do, and you're like, I don't even know how to drive a truck. Why would you ask me to do that? And so you're going to have to be aware that people are going to recognize the strengths that you have that they need, and they're going to tap your shoulder for it. So just be willing to take chances in areas that you don't know whether you should even attempt or belong. Because like I said, they're going to tap you. You don't have to try and find them. Just be willing to try and or be open to try, whatever comes up and says, hey, can you be part of our team? I think we really need you.
Okay. All right. I will definitely change my approach because I had someone come to me about franchising, and I'm like, first of all, that's not even something I would even, I never even thought. And I'm already financially, financially strapped. So there is no possible way I can even put my brain around starting franchising. I mean, unless it's I hate to say it this way, but I don't know too many things, especially working in legal, that franchising I can start and not have need startup money. And this past year, I have truly been financially strapped. So I just kind of ignored, thought that was just, another one of these, need my contact information and the next thing.
Kay, I just want to add this for you here. You really want to use this Mercury retrograde energy that we're in right now to do something like punch up your resume. Like, I get the sense that, you brought up something like franchising to me because of what I'm looking at in your chart about work at this point. you could probably punch up your resume and just change the words and your job experience and description to, start a job in like human resources. Like that's probably something that would be a bit of a stretch, but you could get yourself into with the right amount of work. Like franchising is so above and beyond what you know how to do, but, you may end up doing something like that. Or let's say, you end up doing legal advice or contract work for a call center of all places. Like that's an industry that you would probably never think about getting involved with, but that would be that would be something where if they have like any legal departments, like a call center that handles multiple contracts with different brands, that you would probably do really well in something like that. So just look outside of your comfort zone and then use the energy of this coming Mercury retrograde that we're in right now to modify your resume. Because remember, here's the secret about jobs. This is why you don't get callbacks, is because your resume does not align itself with the job description. Every employer throws your resume into a document scanner. And if your resume matches enough of the key words that are in the job description and you get a high enough score, then you get put into the consider pile. If you don't have if you're just putting in your resume for something that is going to work, but it's, the words do not match up exactly with the job description, you're not getting a callback. Good luck on that one. You're going to go crazy and beat your head against the wall. Why am I so unemployable? Well, that's the secret. That's the gatekeeper. An IT guy told me a long time ago, who had a PhD in computer science, if you copy and paste the entire job description into the footer of your resume, put it at 0.5 font, color it all white, the document scanner gives you a score of 100 because they think, oh, this is the perfect candidate because they have 100% of the job description qualities. But the person in HR, they actually don't see that you pulled that trick because they don't. All of that text will show up as white. Only thing that you want to be careful of is that if you apply for a job where the company extracts the words from your resume, then they're absolutely going to know that you kind of just cheated a little bit to get yourself through the door, because it's going to extract all of that white text from your resume and then think you're the perfect candidate. So do pay attention to that, but there is a workaround. But I just want to let you know now that that's something you got to do to get yourself some callbacks, is just punch up the words to make sure that they match the job description, and that's going to get yourself a higher score.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, both of you.
It was great to have you on the show. Okay, be sure to let us know how it turns out.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
We'll catch up with you real soon. Take care. Until next time. Okay, and let's see here. We are going to take our next call here from area code 863. But just before we do that, we had a question in the Facebook chat from Genevieve here. I just wanted to address that if I was going to say anything about the full moon. So apparently there is a full moon tonight, and this is just something I don't pay attention to. The mystic in me kind of pays attention to like the full moon, but that's just more of a mysticism type of thing because it's the full moon, and that's sort of like a cultural thing, right? But as far as 12 house signs and horoscopes and predictions for the future and that kind of stuff, Uranian astrology doesn't buy into the whole full moon, sensationalism that everybody gets excited for. Reason why is because that's just a single factor analysis. As you can see on the chart there are 22 different factors that we work with. The moon is just one of them. And what's worse is that we're only looking at the moon in the third chart, because we consider all three rings of information a single planet in terms of, a prediction really isn't going to tell us a whole lot. So that's why we don't really focus on that. Unless if you have something very specific in a configuration that's lining up at that axis point in your chart, not a damn thing is going to happen. So that's just a general concession for Uranian astrology about what makes us different versus, standard astrologers, is that we don't get excited about planetary transits. It's just a transit. Unless if you have something there, don't expect anything fancy to happen. So on that note, let's go ahead and take our next call here. This is going to be from area code 863. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth?
Hi, this is Julia, and it's September 16th, 1961.
Julia, let me see here. Got you. And you were born at 10:52?
Approximately, yeah. I don't know the exact time. That's just like a close guesstimate based on information I had.
No
I
worries.
just sort of researched it to that point.
Well, that's great. We got you here. So, Julia, would you like a general reading today, or do you have a question about an issue?
Well, I've got my birthday, as you heard, September 16th, this Friday, and I was kind of hoping for like a little general birthday reading.
Absolutely.
What's coming up for me.
Veretta, take it away.
Yes, I love little general birthday reads. I love doing previews. I love doing New Year in preview, where I can give people an update of 12 months ahead. I like that kind of thing. So, happy birthday to you. Let's see what we've got going on. And you're born in 61, so that makes you technically as old as me. So how does dirt taste?
Exactly right.
Hey, I was born in 61 too, so I'm not poking at anybody. I'm right along in there. So, all right, let's see what you've got going on. Well, first of all, okay, wow. The minute I opened the door, I got to tell you, I got someone sticking their head in there saying, "Tell her I said hi." Let me see. Actually, there's more than one. You got a tribe up there that sticks their head through the veil and says hi. So I just wanted to say Spirit's thinking about you heavily, and they're wanting to make a point to let you know they're coming through. Apparently, you kind of have an idea when they come by to say hello, but they're just validating to you that, yes, they've been there for you. So if you thought you heard or seen something, that's probably very true. It's them. Don't doubt your sanity. All right, let's see. Birthday time. Let's see. Oh. Okay, well, it looks like, so as I'm looking at you in general, and I'm feeling the energy around, I'm not getting anything that says, oh my God, there's, a need to pay attention to this. I'm not getting anything like that. Yay. So that's
good.
Then, right? And then when I ripple out a little farther, I start to pick up energy that suggests somebody may offer you something that is like, wow, really? Yay, I'd love to, but I can't. So whatever it is, it's going to be extreme, and it may be so much so is that it's too over the top. You can't actually utilize it. Like saying, pack your bags, we're going on a vacation. And you're like, I got to work. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's not me. So opportunity will come up. Most likely you may have to decline. However, if you wanted to go, it would be great, or whatever the opportunity is, if you took advantage of it, it would be awesome for you to do it, go, be a part of it somehow, whatever it may be. So if you can manage it, try. Because I think this year feels to me for you to be one of many surprises, offers, opportunities, things that just drop in your lap out of the blue, like, okay, I don't really know what I'm going to do this. I don't even like it. So, just be prepared to say gracefully, thank you, but no. And if you have to decline, do it knowing that there will be more to come. It's not like, oh my gosh, if I don't take this one, nothing like this is ever going to happen again. Don't do that. Opportunity, just surprise out of for this next year for you, opportunity. And often, like multiple times throughout the year, this is going to happen. This is going to take place. You're going to have things come at you from broadside that you never saw coming, and you're going to have to kind of make a decision, think on your feet, think in place, make a decision about what you're going to want to be doing quickly without a lot of time to provide you to plan. So some of them, I would say, honestly, do not automatically respond with a negative answer. Feel it out. And if once the prompt is given for you to have to decide, and you do not feel negatively whatsoever at all about it, take it on. Because I think that this year is meant to show you things and provide energy and information to you that you've never had opportunity for before, mainly because you would have declined, most likely, the opportunities or invitations. So this year is a new beginning to the rule of not declining. You're going to take stuff on. You're going to experience things. You're going to start to have, So what is, so I'm asking, why now? Why does she get to do this now?
It's a relationship.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, then I will let you have this because I think, yeah, you'll give the more that I'm kind of missing because there's a lot in store for you this year. So Ernesto, if you want to take it away, go ahead.
Yeah. So Julia, I'm taking a look.
That was awesome. Thank you.
I'm taking a look at your chart
sorry,
here.
go ahead.
It's funny. Veretta's talking about opportunities and you not declining things and all of that. And you've called our show in the past from my own memory that you were wanting to know about. You've asked specifically about when is a relationship coming in. And you wanted to know the answer to that question. Well, this is the year that it happens. So this is going to be a time when Veretta was saying that, that don't decline, that there will be others. I think that's in relation to you having a special friend. Special friend is definitely down the turnpike. This is the year that that's going to happen. And it's going to seem very much like a marriage partner, but just remember that it's more of a platonic relationship. That's how it's going to manifest. It's going to have that deep agape love, BFF feel to it, where it's just sort of I don't really need to be intimate with you because I know that you're my best friend and that we spend time together, and that in and of itself makes me happy. So, the sticky feelings and all of that, that'll come down, that'll develop in time. But this is going to be the year where you make the connection to the special friend, and that's going to bring, some really new and exciting energies for you that you've never had in some time.
Wow. I love that. Yes, that's what I want. I want a special friend. I want that close relationship. I was already married for 30 years in this life, so I'm good with just the platonic, the BFF, the close personal relationship. So yeah, that's more of what I want.
Yeah, and this
awesome.
is gonna be the year that's gonna happen. Now, what's interesting is when I look at this midpoint of a sun node, which is your physical connection to other bodies or other people out in the universe. What we can see here is you've got a double Mercury that shows up. So this is going to tell me that you're going to be having some conversations about that. I just added some black circles here on the screen. So you're going to be having conversations with people. And so not only are you going to be having offers, but it's also going to be, Julia's going to be learning how to talk to people because this is not really a mode of conversation that you've had to engage in for quite some time. There's a different way that we talk to the people that, we love and we're interested in. And to kind of to spark that interest or to incite an offline conversation or something. So this is going to be something that you'll be working with, and this Mercury retrograde is coming up and practicing the words of what you're going to want to say when you think that somebody is interested in you, or perhaps what would that scenario look like. So these next few weeks are going to be about getting mentally ready for the connection itself, but this is definitely going to be the year that you're going to have a special friend who's going to come your way, and you're going to spend some time with here. And it's also, and just so you're aware, the special friend is also going to bring a lot of creativity to you. So this, may incite some other types of small projects that you may want to do, if that's, creative or knitting or, painting, those music, whatever psychic stuff, whatever it is that you get into for creativity, that's going to, add some more gas to that fire. And that's okay because that's something that this person will always bring to you, is that energy that that not only do I feel fulfilled, but I can also create these other things too. It's almost like a muse energy in a way.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so Julia,
I've just been so stagnant for so long, so what you're saying is absolutely on point about learning to talk to people again.
Now,
I've just withdrawn, so yeah.
Even getting out, and finding a meetup of, people who have coffee or people who play board games, people who play bunco, people who do just casual things just for the sake of making small talk and having conversation. That would be the best way to do it, is, get yourself out there, because I, as somebody who really struggles a lot with social skills, I can practice this 1,000,001 times in my head, but when it actually happens, everything goes out the window and, is just shot to hell. So good luck in that case. So that's why it's really nice just to have the practice of getting out there. It seems like that. It doesn't seem like that way with me at all, but I'm in presenter mode right now, which is very intelligent. So that's why it comes across so great. But if I met you at a bar, good luck. That conversation probably wouldn't last much more than 6 minutes.
Yeah. I hear you. That's how I am too. I feel like I'm better on the phone, but when it's face to face, it's like, okay, yeah.
So get yourself out there and get some practice with the social skills. That's something that you can definitely work on in these next few weeks with this Mercury retrograde energy. It's going to give you some really nice things to work on here, and I think that's going to be some really critical lessons that you'll need to attracting this new person. But yeah, Julia, this is the year that you're going to be settling down with somebody and having a special friend in your life.
Nice. I love that. Yay. Something awesome to look forward to. So thank you both. That was awesome. I appreciate that.
And happy birthday, by the way. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
We'll catch up with you real soon. Take care. Okay. Until next time.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. And we are going to take our next caller here from area code 330. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth?
Hi, my name is Ashley, 41571.
Ashley, have you ever been on the show before?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, great. So that was 41571?
Yes.
And at what time were you born?
9:22 a.m.
9:22? Okay, and where were you born?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Perfect. And Ashley, would you like a general reading today, or do you have a question about an issue?
General, please.
All right, perfect. Verena, take it away.
Alrighty. Okay, so as I tune in, you've got lack of kind of unruffled, unsettled energy that would suggest to me that you have a little chaos that you try to manage around you, and or occasionally you have somebody that puts everything into motion like chaos, and you have to keep everything else settled. Then that for you is just life. That's not necessarily maybe a person. That's randomly things that you just deal with in general. I mean, you have a structure, but you don't have a set structure that consistently manages to maintain itself indefinitely. So you have to work hard at keeping things balanced sometimes. I feel like that's not a bad thing, and you can do it. The stress is uncomfortable, but okay, yeah, I'm strong enough, I can make this happen. So it just really isn't something that takes over your life, but it is something that you have to make not take over your life. If change, you're also a manifester. So if you don't know what that means when you put your mind in motion to create, it happens. Things just appear for you in the manner that you need. You may not know that, however. So in the light of what a manifestor is, if you have a negative reference for everything, that's what you're going to create. So if you have a happy plan and you stick to it in a positive mode, you're going to make things happen. All right, so also, so what do you need to know? What do you need? I hear that this is the year that you can make change happen in your workplace, in your work or your money involvement arena. So just know that if you've had plans, if you've had thoughts, you've kind of been inkling towards doing something a little bit more in the management, supervision, or just ownership material for business, this is a year to start working toward that goal. Now, having been given that information, I'm going to turn it over to Ernesto, because now he's going to be able to pinpoint a whole lot better about what I can't know and what kind of stuff that is that you'll be taking on. So I will have him
Thank you.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
Ashley. So, quick question. Now, are you working currently?
No,
You're not. Okay. Are you looking for work?
not at this time. I'm having some health issues.
Okay. All right. So, the great news is that the health issues, they seem pretty serious. Is this correct?
Long term, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some difficult stuff. Which does the word radiation mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the energy that I was sort of picking up on here, is that you've got some stuff that I can actually show you in your chart. I'm going to highlight this on the screen. This or this black circle, and then this other black circle on the right, and then you'll see one on the bottom. When all of that converges, that's just a simple way of saying that like there's some health stuff here that is kind of going on that needs to be addressed, and it affects your physical body, which is the sun. So that's how I know that it is a health matter. Now the great news is that you will prevail from this, though, because these energies may bring something like radiation, for example, but at the same time, because you've got this Jupiter that's with Kronos, that's going to bring like blessings and good news. So whatever you're going through right now, you personally, your meridian, that big M, you will prevail from this. It's going to seem extremely distressing because of that Neptune energy that you have there, and that's also going to bring a lot of confusion in a lot of matters. But because that Jupiter with that Kronos, that's like really great energy together. You really can't undo that. So the Neptune that we're looking at, that doesn't have as much of an effect as what it could. Now, my other standout to you in your chart, because this is a promise of your chart, is if we look at this node here, if we draw an arrow up to your Pluto, you see that if you reflect this big fat green dot that I'm going to put here, if you reflect that dot across this midpoint axis on the middle, then it equals your Pluto up there on the top. So that means that Saturn Hades, which is going to have to do with pestilence, with illnesses of long duration. So like we're talking about, like cancers or MS or those kinds of things, that whatever you endure in that regard, you will prevail from this because you have the ability to change. So that's the Pluto energy. And how you're going to change through all of these health issues is, are you doing anything spiritual or psychic right now? Or do you do that normally in your life?
I work with crystals, and I'm a Reiki master.
Okay, because energy manipulation is really going to be how you get yourself through the health issues. So every single time you're doing something in that domain, whenever you're working with crystals or you're working with Reiki or whatever it might be, even if it's a different modality, if you do like massage therapy, for example, those are all points, we'll call it, that you generate in those areas that redirects the energy from this really difficult, distressing health stuff that you don't have any control over. And then now you're now thinking outside of yourself, so that really difficult energy that's related to your health, that dissipates whenever you put yourself into these other activities. So the spiritual aspect of life and just things in general, that by always preferring to do that, or having that as an outlet from these difficult times that you're going through with appointments and conversations and everything else, that's going to be what gets you through all of this. Veretta, did you have something to add to this, or is this making sense, or is this kind of what you're picking up too?
Yeah, you're putting details to what I can find words for. So you're good.
Okay, great. So
Do you
Ashley,
see a relationship or partner at all to be with me through this?
Veretta?
During your time frame, no. I'll just put it out there, baby. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, this is really a focus on yourself. that and by the way, when it comes to things like relationships, you absolutely have that luck and that potential in your chart here. It's just going to come a little bit later in life, so don't really compare yourself to other peers, in your age category of, I'm this old spinster and I just can't get any, and nobody wants to go out with me and I'm undateable, like that whole negative self-talk track. That doesn't work, because it's just in your chart that it's going to take a little bit longer, but it's there. You absolutely have that potential. You're not like you. I would tell you straight up, if you were one of those people, that you're not going to end up with anybody at the end of the day, because you can see that. But for you, it's just going to be a little bit later. So again, like what you're going through right now, bring the focus in on self, because that's a huge piece of the dialogue, or of a missing puzzle piece that you need in order to attract that partner. And it's like attracting the right partner for us. It's like there's this whole laundry list of conditions that have to be met, and we may or may not meet them, and we may not even know what the terms and conditions of that of what that agreement really is. But our chart here, just by our other life things that go on, that the things that we have to deal with, these are kind of all pushing us in that direction. So I think the health matters is, like another piece where you have to focus on that self-care narrative, and really make yourself the best version of Ashley that Ashley can be. And then when you're finally through this neck of the woods, you're going to be ready to attract that partner, and it's going to fit so much better than what it could right now. Because if you ask yourself seriously, if I brought somebody into my life in the next 24 hours, would that sustain itself until the end of the time? The answer is usually probably no. So that's where we have to ask ourselves, what do I need to do so that answer becomes yes?
That makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah. Ashley, I know it was your first time here on the show, so it was great to have you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, until next time, take care and goodbye. Okay, and wow, we have quite a few queue building up. It looks like we're kind of popular today. We're going to get off to our next call here from area code 520. I believe this is Lisa. It's been a while. Lisa, are you there on the line with me?
Oh my God. You crack me up. I don't ever remember what show it is that has memory on the names of people that. Oh, that's so cool.
It's well, your area code is from where I went to college, and it's not an area code I see very often, so it just sticks. So I do. Yeah, you called us a long time ago. I think Caitlin was still the co-host back then. But I have your chart data here. Looks like you were born on September 20th, 62 at 8:40. Is that right?
Yes, it's coming up.
Perfect. I got you here now. Lisa, would you like a general reading, or do you have a question about an issue today?
Pardon me. I'm sorry to clear my throat. Can you tell me what you see on finances?
Okay, got it. Veretta?
All right, Lisa, finances. So the short answer is you're going to be okay. And I'm going to say that because if you reflect back, you usually make ends meet, even if you're not sure what hits you in the moment of what's to come. You manage to pull it out. It comes together, and you can juggle it into a fruition. Well, that's going to take place this time too. So I feel like for the upcoming year, so you're going to have a birthday too. Let's see, what's your preview? September. February. There's something coming up in February that you're going to need to be paying attention to. March, April. So whatever's happening in February is the beginning of a lot of communication and social exchange for you. I feel like it will. If part of the reason you were asking about finances is because You want to be able to do something special. So you're maybe wondering if you're going to have the money to be able to. So the answer to that is yes, because again, and I already said that, of course. But why I'm iterating and reiterating is that I see you have the potential to do some traveling or do something special in the future that you're kind of maybe looking forward to. But that's like the beginning of a lot of things that will come to you after that. And when I say that, I mean whatever's going to come, um, they're going to bring with them a lot of joy or a lot of information or things that you may need that will support you emotionally, mentally, financially, whatever. So this is the stepping stone. This is the threshold. Okay, this is the threshold right now. You're at this threshold of kind of a very energetic, busy, sometimes maybe chaotic year. But definitely financially, you'll be okay. I definitely see that coming out. You're not in a relationship, are you, Lisa?
No, not now.
All right. So the reason why I make that statement and ask is because I kind of see that may be part of the potential you have upcoming this year. So having that been said, I'm going to turn it over to Ernesto because if that's a fact, he'll find it. But he'll be able to find something else, a whole lot more. So I'll give it to Ernesto and let him have you.
Okay, Lisa, so I'm taking a look at your chart right now to see what's happening with this. And so you're not in a relationship currently. Now, from what I remember when you called us a long, long time ago, you were really distressed about finances. And I think it was the person that you were in a relationship at that time that they were the cause or the source of a lot of financial distress and difficulty. Is that true?
You know, yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, because it was, it's completely changed now, totally.
Yeah,
totally changed.
Yeah, because that went
I
away.
mean, like day and night.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in your chart that like you were really attached on like we tried to tell you something about like that this guy that wasn't going to work out, but you just wouldn't hear it. You know, it's just and I understand that's human experience. You know that we just want to hang on to the things that we love, and then when they're ripped away from us, and we can look back, then hindsight truly is 20/20, and we say, oh, I really wish I would have paid attention, but then it's taken away from us anyway because that's just the way it was meant to go. So the great news about all of this is that let me take a look at this midpoint here. I'm looking at your finances to see what energies this is going to bring in for you here, and let's see like that. Okay, so your finances, it is true that they are going to be okay. They will work themselves out, and I think it's going to be because of other people that you know, like other connections that you have in your own personal world, that they're going to be the ones who give you the money making opportunities. So they're not going to come from you, they're going to come from outside of you. They're going to be from conversations that you have with other people, they're going to be from message boards. They're just not going to be from things that you really find on your own. So you know, if you're concerned about the money aspect of it, you know, don't really pour all of your time and energy into like these new endeavors that you can use to make money, because it's really going to be your friends and family and acquaintances that are going to be the ones that are going to say, oh, hey, did you hear about this? That they're going to be your biggest allies in this whole process. But yes, to answer the question, your money situation, that is going to be okay. That will work itself out. It's not going to be the catastrophe that you know you're sort of used to, and the general stress that's associated with it. That you're going to have the things that you're worried about not being able to afford, which are really sort of just, you know, nice, over the top, unnecessary. You know, we're talking like Christmas gifts kind of stuff, like those things. Those are going to be okay, but you know, probably not to the insanity that you want. Like you're probably going to have to buy somebody a shirt from the department store as opposed to buying them a shirt from Gucci. So if you can understand that difference.
Oh, no, I don't. That's not my lifestyle. I don't believe in consumerism. And,
Well,
I mean, as far as, you know, whatever's necessary is fine, but
Yeah,
No, that's fine. That's
so-
fine. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the basic things, that's all going to be taken care of. Everything else after that is going to be a request, but I think that even that stuff too, that it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. Just because you have some really nice money energy, and here's where it gets really interesting, is the fact that we have over here on the right side of your chart, and this is your future, by the way, because this is how we read a chart. And I'm sorry, no, this is your past, was that you had some changes in money. So your past has to do with, your financial situation changing. And then your future, which is represented over here on the left side, because this pointer head is on the opposite side of where it normally is up here on the top. So because this is going to be the left side, we would read this as your future. So this is going to be you in the environment. So like your future, like your home environment, I think that are you looking at doing some sprucing up, or maybe moving or doing anything along those lines?
Yeah, bingo. And oh my goodness, I didn't see it. Life has weird twists and turns, so I didn't see it coming. It's not a forced move. It's not it's just something that I think would be a smart thing to do. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, and I think that a change of environment or space, that's going to be something that is absolutely going to be coming for you, and that's going to have a lot to do with your money situation too. And if we're being really honest, as far as like the inquiry about how is my money situation going, specifically, your money situation concerns your home. And that's what you really need to, kind of get worked out. And that's going to be the conversations that you'll be having in this Mercury retrograde here, is getting more information about like doing home repairs, or, maybe there's a contractor or somebody else that can help you out with some other things that you put off for too long. I think that the projects that, that have just kind of been at a standstill for so long, that now you're actually going to get some movement on those. So as far as the money's concerned, that's really going to be the biggest asset in all of this is going to be your house.
I can see what you're saying is true. Yeah, I do see that. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect.
Because what you're saying about the move and the house and renovation, putting things up, I haven't done it, but there have been obstacles, and so trying to get those things worked out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so like maybe if you really wanted to, like your chart would even suggest it would require a separate evaluation for something like taking out a loan. But if you did something like a home equity line of credit or a reverse mortgage, if you're in that type of a scenario,
no, I'm not going to do that. No. But can I ask you what year I called in the last time? What year it was?
It was pre-pandemic.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID.
Wow.
Like the Wuhan lab hadn't even happened yet.
Things have dramatically changed today. I mean, it's not anything like it was when we called in at that time.
Oh yeah, you were involved in like some pretty dark, screwed up stuff that like we were just so confused about. Like, how can you not see the red flags? So I'm so glad that you got yourself out of that.
Oh no, I knew. We had been involved for years. He died.
Oh wow.
No, we had been a couple for many years. But no, I saw it. I knew what was going on. I saw it.
Yeah.
There weren't no red flags. I was living on planet Red.
Well, you know what? Good for you, Lisa. It's what we always call the human experience. We only get to do it once.
Sometimes if you repeat it, it may not be a good thing to do, though.
Yeah, it's true. Remember, what exists on the opposite side of the wall is just a different variation of what we know today.
Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was great to have you on the show, Lisa. Be sure to give us a call back, and hopefully not in 3 years like it has been this past time.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of life has taken place, just like for anyone else, that amount of time.
It's unbelievable how much somebody's situation can change in just 3 years.
Well, Yeah, it just does. It really does. By the grace of God. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, we all have to go sometime. I mean, that's death and taxes. It's just for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
Lisa, it was great to have you. And be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care. Until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
Okay, and we are going to take our next call here from area code 929. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, if you're there.
Hello.
Okay, all right. So I think they might just be listening. We'll take our next call here. Just a moment. Not this one. Okay. So let's go off to area code 519. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth?
Hi there, my name's Jennifer, but can I get a reading for my son?
Okay, sure. And so it was Jennifer,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
What's your son's name?
Yeah, what's his name?
His name's Owen.
And when was he born?
September 9th,
Okay.
2005.
At what time?
12:35 p.m.
And where was he born?
Detroit, Michigan.
Perfect. All right. And Jennifer, would you like us to do a general reading for Owen today, or do you have a question about an issue?
A general would be great, please.
All right. Perfect. Loretta, take it away.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. And you said he was born in 2005?
Pardon me?
You said that he was born in 2005?
Correct. Yeah, September 9th.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right. And he is still living, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as I reach out to tune into Ellen, I get a very faint, a very light energy. And so that suggests a lot of things to me. But to reach for him, I would say that so the short version of what I'm going to say, and then I'll kind of try to fill in for you, is he will be all right. He will be all right. Now, I do get that there's some things he's going to have to struggle or at least learn to overcome. And I feel like if he can get past those challenges, then the world will yield anything he wants, because he will have learned how to overcome whatever the specific challenge is, whether it's a social thing or I don't know. So the thing is I feel like you, Mom, are really, you can't be hands-on. So this is what I'm feeling. You can't be hands-on. You would like to be, or normally are. There's usually not anything. There used to be nothing that, would be any different than a regular day on waking up and keeping the fam going. But this time, the fam, and talking about on, is going up. And so I feel the need to say, this is where you become hands off instead of hands on. I also feel like he's capable, and the maintenance that you've given will need to probably be provided like it was in the past, but it won't always have to be there in the future. So you won't always have to be a hands-on mom to an adult son. It's just right now there are still early phases in his years that he's dealing with. I feel like when it's all, like I said before, when it's all said and done, he'll be okay. But some of this has to come from him learning how to deal with these challenges on his own, without you giving him directive on what's to come and what he needs to do to prepare for it, or how whatever it is that you would have done in his younger years, provide as a mom. And even though your role as a mom is not over by any means, the need for you to allow him to learn through the opportunity of discovery on how it is that he needs to step up to become an adult may be pretty hard for you because your mothering instinct is strong, but you'll need to let him flounder on this. You'll need to let him discover, well, yep, that's what happens when you don't wake up on time and get to a job interview. They don't hire you. So, and this probably that right there will probably be your biggest challenge in not continuing to be the mom that you have before, and they can become very aware that he's going to have to be responsible for his choices. Like, dude, I'm not coming into your room at 10 o'clock to wake you up because you were supposed to be there already. If you're not getting up at this point on your own and understanding that being an adult means you do what you're supposed to do without someone telling you, then you might have a little bit of a difficult problem. So, and I'm not even sure he's there with you, but the reality of it is mothering in you is strong, and so that is going to be something that you are not going to be able to just drop like a bad habit. You're going to have to learn how to not impose what you see going on to your son, imposed upon him that, life's going to be hard if you don't get up and face your challenge like you're supposed to. Don't do that. Just let him learn.
You know what? He's actually really, he is very self-regulating. I am very hands-off with him. I don't need to tell him how to do anything. Do you see?
So whatever.
There was a point where he may have passed. Like, I don't know if he had a near-death experience, but it was pretty close. Do you see anything in regards to that?
I would agree with that based on, I would agree probably that whatever it was he experienced really rattled his cage because his energy is very light. And so what that means to me is some people come across like then their energy enters the room before they do. You know what I mean? Some people are just full of life. We call that full of life. Well, he's smart. So it's not like he doesn't have the capacity. He's got a lot of ideas and things that he could do and stuff going on. He keeps his energy to himself most of the time, which also means he keeps his information to himself when it comes to people like me that read energy. So you have to dig a little bit to get in there. And when I started to dig earlier on, when I first started to connect, I was telling you earlier, and it was so light, something had to have happened that displaced his energy enough to make it that way. So when you say to me he may have had a near-death experience, I would agree with that. Because the kind of energy I feel in him right now is not necessarily the right kind of energy that I would expect to feel in a young man that age. At that age, he should be busting at the seams, ready to go, bursting out of the walls and trying to get out. Not from you, but just his energy, per se. He doesn't have that. So you've got an intelligent individual that is capable of making things happen, but he's also very comfortable with mom in a way to rely on as a safety net or a foundation page, and that's the part that has to change. He's going to have to make the decisions or see what's coming on his own. You've been a great mom, and there's no doubt that because you have done what you've done for him all the way, he is going to succeed 100%. As long as he doesn't let himself get pulled in directions of other people, because that's why right now in a way he has to pioneer himself to be self-reliant. And I get you I hear you when you say he's pretty self-sufficient. I don't really have to do anything. Well, yeah, but there are things that he just doesn't do because he kind of relies on mom to get him prompts. Those are the things that he's going to need to learn. So you're not going to go away out of his life. No, that's not what I'm saying. 100%. I'm not saying remove yourself from his situation. What I am saying is watch his situation a little bit more candidly, perhaps, but watch the situation a little bit more than be active in it. And he'll be fine. He'll learn it. He'll learn it. And then when you see people coming into his world that start to give him information in a way that is probably less than valid. You can bring up that thought, but he's still going to have to decide to listen to that on his own. And he will. He will. He's supervisor material already, which means he's like cream. He'll rise to the top no matter what he settles in. He'll find his way to get to the top once he finds that area that he wants to be in. There may be a couple trial and errors along the way, and so those false starts may get your hopes up, and then they'll stop because he didn't do what he should have done to regulate the energy. But he'll be fine. He'll be fine. So just give him his space. Know you've done a great job on your kid, and let's see what Ernesto has to say.
Yeah, so Jennifer, I'm taking a look here at your chart, and just to kind of get into this, this is important. Whenever we started general reading in Uranian astrology, there's really about only one methodology that we use, and that's to look at the midpoint of the Aries point at 0 degrees, which is our neutral point that we start with in the chart, and your solar arc sun. That those are both going to be the orange squares that are on our YouTube stream if you're watching right now. So we see that green dot there in the middle, and that's the midpoint of both of those. So what I'm looking at here, the reason I wanted to start with this is because Pluto comes up by direction right here. And that kind of, interests me because that immediately tells me, okay, so there's a change. This is a year that there will be a change. A change to what? A change to his physical body. And that's supported by the sun over here on that pointer. And also that if we read the chart this way, this would be his future. So his future is a change to the physical body. Now, the fact that he has Admetos down here with his moon, that's going to be you. And that's also going to be, I don't mean to, incite fear or anything, but this is also going to be like an end of a connection to you, like not knowing you anymore. But this can also be severe crushing depression that's caused as a result of disability. So, when I'm reading this chart and I'm looking at his stuff, I'm kind of like, did this kid have an overdose, that of like maybe some illicit drugs or something that he didn't tell anybody about that, kind of scared him? Because where Owen would really benefit the most right now is introducing a sense of God in his life, because I feel like that this chart and the way that it's resonating right now, that this has the potential to really spiral out of control and become extremely problematic and distressful for not only you but him too. So I think that redirecting that Hades energy that's going to deal with a lot of the disability types of things as a result of drug use, that we can redirect that by introducing a sense of God. Because if we're being totally honest, drug addicts are just looking for God at the end of the day. That's really why we do these things. So if you can, replace that want or that fix for something else that's of a much higher road, then I think it's going to create a different result for him. But this is kind of looking to me like he may have been messed up, or he had either a near death experience because he almost died, or because maybe something happened to his physical body that was sort of jarring, and that was sort of a warning sign, like, if I keep doing this and running with this crowd and doing these things, then then unfortunate things might happen to me. And that's also going to create a rift with you, Jennifer, that he's probably going to want to cut ties with you, and that's just going to be the end of it. Because just out of concern and love as a parent, you want to make sure that he's always doing the best thing that he can possibly do. But then when we find out everything that he's doing on the side, it's too distressing, and then he's just going to cut the cord. So that's why I say that introducing a sense of God would really, really benefit Owen right now with what's going on, because he's headed down a little bit of a slippery slope, and we can still catch this, but we don't have a lot of time here.
Could that drug-related thing have anything to do with vaccines, maybe?
It could. Anything that would be considered like a poison or, a mind-altering chemical. A poison also as being the operative word, that would be something that would cause, a really negative side effect. So that may be related to that too. I would honestly have a conversation with him about it, because when we look at this point in your chart about, this question of how Owen is doing right now, his his transiting Mercury, which is in retrograde, by the way, comes up right there on that green dot. So that's you having a conversation with him about all of these issues. So today is a great day to have a chat with him and, just kind of check in to see how things are going. Don't be weird or creepy about it, because we can't do that. Otherwise they don't talk to us anymore. But, like
Right.
this is going to be a day for you to have that, like I think that introducing him to God would really, really benefit, and not like in a hokey religious kind of way, just say like, hey, like there's this thing called metaphysics, introduce them to maybe like the Four Agreements or, some general book about like, power of thought kind of thing, to show him that there's this other thing out there that he can get involved with that's not all of this dark stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you. I've got the book The Alchemist. I gave it to them all for Christmas. None of them read it.
Well, try to find something that has more of a practice element to it, like that's more, like that you practice the work and do it and learn it that way. I think something that's more interactive, that's kind of how you get people's interest when it comes to reading. But I think that, he really needs to just be introduced to these higher level thought things to know that I can do this instead. It's like, I didn't know that this even existed. When I first learned about metaphysics and higher knowing and all of that earlier in my life, I wasn't even aware that you could do these things. So once you're introduced to that, like when people find out you can do that with astrology, it kind of blows their mind. So you just have to introduce them and open the thought, and then they'll just run with it.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was great to have you on the show, Jennifer. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, take care. Until next time. Okay, and we are going to take our next call here from area code 805. We have about 25 minutes left, and we hope to get to everybody, so we'll kind of try to move this along. But area code 805, hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show. May I have your name and date of birth?
Oh, thank you. I'm so looking forward to this. This is Donna. My birthday is April 22nd, 1954.
Okay, and Donna, you've been on the show before, right?
I have, yes. A wonderful show. Yes.
Perfect. And you were born at 250 in Long Island?
Yes, that's correct.
Got you here.
So, yes.
Now, would you like a general reading, or do you have a question about an issue?
General reading, but I wanted to know if I was going to meet someone and if finances would get better. Whatever you're seeing for me, I'd appreciate it.
Perfect. All right, Bretta, take it away.
Alrighty. Let's see what we got going on here now. Finances. Okay, so the minute I start to tune into that to get a mainstream, I get dips and variations. So that says to me it may not be okay, or let me rephrase that. It may not be smooth, but if what needs to be done is done properly, then it will be okay. And I kind of think you will, because you are, you're in that mindset now of really paying close attention to and understanding what you have to do. Not, there are lines you don't cross when it comes to finances and paying your bills and keeping things running smoothly. So you're just going to keep running smoothly. I don't think that ultimately, with whatever that ruffle is, you will absorb the cost and keep right on going. You will be okay. So then relationship. I'm not seeing change. And unfortunately, I feel like maybe you don't have someone in your life right now, and that's not something, that you're liking or you're willing to make different. And I'm just not seeing a change in that situation. I feel like people could be on approach. I don't see the exchange of greeting. I don't see the communication that would come along with a relationship. So I'm not sure what's happening on that front for you. Okay, so when I'm asking why, what the thing is that's keeping you from getting a relationship or having someone in your life, I'm feeling like it's not the person as much as being anchored that you would kind of rebel against. Maybe the thought of being anchored. I don't know. So the transparency on your part would be when you meet someone who is just like you and doesn't want to give permission for someone to tie them down, you're going to understand what you can and cannot do to have a good, healthy relationship. Because that person's not going to be, that person probably won't be in your life too long. And but again, like I said, that will make you understand your boundaries and how they may hurt you sometimes if you don't really look at them realistically. Boundaries are necessities. They're 100% needed, mandatory in a safe, secure, healthy life and lifestyle. But if you cross your own boundaries, you have nobody but you to blame. And if you start not recognizing those boundaries as something that you have to have, or the reason that they happen to begin with, then you forget the point of having boundaries, and people start to trespass, walk all over you, do things that are not okay. And you're not that kind of person to go with that for any millions of times. Thank you very much. Once is enough. Okay, this is over, right? Because you're not doing it again. So I'm saying you're going to have a relationship. I'm just not seeing one right now. I see that there may be people possible. I'm just not sure if they're okay, that would be something that you would want to continue to have a relationship with. Now, Ernesto can give us a lot more information about that, because at some point those stars and planets down and figure out who says what and when and where they'll show up. So let's see what you have got to say.
Okay, so Donna, taking a look here at, the first question was about money. So let's address that in your chart. Now, when it comes to money, that's the green dot that I have on the chart. That's what we're looking at right now in our YouTube stream. So the first thing that we see right here is, are you working currently? Are you still working, or even part-time?
No, he passed. I was doing a little part-time, but yeah, he passed.
Okay, so
I'm on a fixed income way.
So it's just you now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, your past was definitely in working, and, it's going to be a bit of a struggle as far as the money is concerned. And the reason I say that is because you've got a double Neptune that's showing up here, and that is to dissipate or to make go away. And so, like, when the question is about money, like, gambling is definitely something you don't want to do right now. Like, I understand that might be something that's really appealing to try to make more, but like, that's anything that involves, risk, speculation, or, it's just sort of unclear, unknown as to what the outcomes are going to be for a financial investment. Don't get involved with that. That's going to be where you're bleeding money out the sides that you can't get back. So, I mean, like, for the best advice that I could give you with money right now is to be very firm and, just really have hard walls when it comes up to when you're going to open your wallet or checkbook, that it's only for these scenarios, for what's absolutely necessary. And, I can do these other things that are nice for me too, but, only these things, like I won't buy all of these extras, when I go to the movie theater, for example. But I think that the money situation will be stable, but it's not going to be distressing. And it's not going to be lavish and even plush either. So, but I do think that at the bare minimum, you are going to have your basic needs taken care of. So that would be the money piece of it. And as far as, like you working or, doing something else, something you would benefit from would be to like, do like some type of like creative work or knitting or, something that you can sell like at a flea market or a bazaar yard sale type thing that's like, I don't know, like beanies, for example, that, for newborns or people do things like this that you would benefit from, just making small little chump change from side projects that you enjoy. It's not really like I'm going to go be able to afford this new fancy apartment that has all these new features that I would really like and don't need. We're not talking about that. We're just being able to get you some more revenue so that you can enjoy pizza and beer maybe a few more times a month than what you do currently. Nothing huge or crazy like that, but as far as the money, that's all going to be stable. So those needs will be met and taken care of. So that's on that end. As far as the relationship piece is concerned, I do agree with Veretta that it's just not the time for that to happen. But what you need to be do, similar to our last call or to a previous caller, Julia, with you in relationships, you just have to, you have to learn how to have those social skills to be able to refuse. I think that, you're going to get some offers here, but they're not all going to be what you want them to be. And they're a lot of them are really going to sort of disappoint because they don't have all of the characteristics that you're looking for, or maybe you're going to start to see some really ugly things that you didn't notice at the beginning, that veneer, once that goes away, that you see things in a new light, and that's going to be unpleasant, and you're not going to like it. So that would be the advice that I have for you on that one. Is the relationship, just don't say yes to everybody. Pay attention to the signs and know your self-worth, that there is somebody coming. It's just not going to be right now. And remember, desperate times do call for desperate people, but that's when things also get really dangerous too.
Oh, well, that's good. I can look forward later on then to meeting someone. I'm not going to really get out there and try to meet someone now then.
Yeah, I would say, focus your time on doing those more small projects that you enjoy, that, make you small little amounts of money, like to do paintings or, knitting or that kind of stuff, like that's where you're going to find your enjoyment right now.
Okay. Do you see an inheritance coming in? I'm expecting one, but I don't. Yeah, do you see anything?
Inherited, sure. Veretta, what do you got on that one? Let me take a look for this.
I was seeing that too. Okay, so I'm not really strong in the inheritance energy. I'm not sure why. Yeah, okay. Yes, maybe. I hear maybe. And then at that, it'll be low. It won't be enough to provide a lot of anything. And when I hear that, I hear that would be based on the fact there are other people or other, necessities, I guess, that this money will go to as well. It's split. It's not just given to you. It's something that's divided. So once you divide it, there's really not a lot left. Okay. Ernesto, what do you got?
Okay, I'm just trying. So let me see here. Donna, so as far as there are two separate conditions that we need to have in order to say that there's an event for you. The first one that I'm looking at is in a little bit of time, not too much longer now, that this black dot is going to come down to this arrow. This should be within I want to say the next month, within the next 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. And when it hits there, then we have a triple midpoint. So we have its own midpoint structure of Jupiter and Saturn. So that fulfills condition number 1. Now we just need to get the Zeus to line up in its own midpoint here too. So the great news that is we don't even have to move the dial or do much work. And we see that we have one of the ones that we need right here. So that's really helpful. Now to say with, certainty that this is going to be happening. Let's see, we have another one here. And where is your third one? Okay, and that's going to be in this first ring. Where is that? There. Okay, so 1, 2, 1. Well, if we move that. Yeah, so I mean, this does look like some good energy as far as getting an inheritance and taking that. Again, as Veretta said, I don't think that it's going to be what you necessarily want it to be. It's going to be somewhat of a disappointment. It's when you file a claim in a class action lawsuit because somebody in your family was damaged by a medication, and perhaps they died, and you only get a check for $400, which doesn't even really cover much of anything. Like it's or perhaps selling your car to a used car dealership as a trade-in. When you just get screwed over, it's not necessarily that you get screwed over. It's just more that what your expectations are of everything's kittens and rainbows, that's gonna get squashed. So come into it with just not expecting anything and be surprised by whatever you get. That's gonna be the best way to approach it. But yeah, it is gonna be within, I would say, the next month that you'll have some changes with an inheritance.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because the man that I took care of, we're going on a boat as a memorial for him, and that's October 9th. And so I'm thinking maybe the brother will, present me with a little something for the time that I was with him. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping for.
So, that all sounds good. That like right around that time in October, that you would get some news about that. And so, think about make a list of maybe like 3 or 5 things of like keepsakes or small things that you liked. Nothing huge or expensive. Just like maybe a figurine of a precious moments or something that you just really really enjoyed that touches you. Like just make a small list of those things and say, hey, can I have this? That's something that nobody cares about because it has no financial value or attached to it, but it's just something that you like because it's a memory of that person.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be nice. Okay.
Well, it was
Wonderful.
great to
Well,
have
thank
you
you,
on the
Ernest.
show here, Donna. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. We'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and we are going to take our next caller here from area code 630. We're running short on time, so we'll do everything that we can before we run out. May I have your name and date of birth? Hi, you're on the Uranus Happens Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. This is Dion, December 5th, 1973.
Dion, perfect. Got you here, and we have you. So, would you like a general reading, or do you have a question about an issue today?
No, I have a question.
Okay, what's that?
Okay, so I am planning for my relocation. I know that you told me previously it would be like this week coming up, week of September 11th. I know that I have to have employment before I move because obviously I have to get money in. But I've been applying. So any help that would get me to that job, because I have a lot of anxiety about moving, any information would be helpful. Like, am I applying to the right places? Am I getting closer?
Okay, for sure, Beretta.
Okay. All right. So as you said, am I applying to the right places? I heard yes. And when you said, am I getting closer? I heard maybe. And the feeling behind, or the energy behind the maybe, suggested that you may be not looking, or you may be turning down the thought of things that are being presented to you because either A, you don't know how, or you don't want to. So this is one of those times where I'm going to say, open up your boundaries on what you're looking for and get into something, anything at this point that brings in an income, regardless of whether it's a career move or not. Just get a job. And so by that I mean, don't worry about whether you're going to stay there forever. If you have to go to Jack in the Box and get a drive-through job for a few hours a day, any kind of working condition right now is going to benefit you. So just take the next thing that you find that's available. Whether you really feel you can do it very well or not, doesn't matter. The fact is, you just need a stepping stone to get into a job that will move you into the position of getting a really good career or move on into the next direction. Now, time frame wise, you're still at about 3 weeks. So hopefully Ernesto can give you more information on that.
Yeah, so Dion, taking a look here at your chart for the work, I absolutely agree that What's going to be happening here for you as far as the career is concerned is you're going to end up taking some BS, like entry level jobs, the crap jobs that nobody wants, to be like a server or a cashier type of thing, just to get yourself by. I mean, I see that you're probably going to be like renting a room temporarily in, various places just to get yourself established and, to get a feel of, how the town is laid out for transportation and all of that. And, you'll be working, doing your job. I do feel that you're also going to be doing your writing too. So that's something that, you always have on the back burner, but that's something you can call upon. And, you may even start to get some more calls with, like other people who want to, have like an open house or a signing or something like that, because I know that's something you've done in the past. So I feel that always keep that in as a career option for you. That's that's one of your gems that you get into. But as far as like the daily day-to-day life, that's just going to be, again, like that very basic, cashier service level type of stuff that nobody really wants to do. You'll rent a room so that way you can still have the best of both worlds, be in a new environment, do your writing, and still pay your bills. And then, once you get more established and, you get some experience, then you can get more into like the places that you're really looking to get to that have the better paying jobs and everything. And you can start to find your own place. Hopefully by that point, they've done something with the stupid inflation, because this is insane. I honestly don't know how people afford to live in today's world. So, like that's, and I know that that's obviously a concern for you, but you're going to be okay. Like there's not going to be anything necessarily. There's going to be an adjustment period, we'll say, but it's not going to be insanity to where you want to jump off of a bridge, or you're going to have serious conversations about having a roof over your head or even lights.
Okay. Yeah, like the jobs that I've been offered, they don't even pay like for an apartment. You know what I'm saying? And like renting a room from someone, I've done that before. It was just okay, but it's still kind of scary,
Yeah, it is. It is. But, unfortunately, like if in so many places, at least here in Phoenix, people charge $1,200 to rent a room. $1,200. Insane. But that's what we got to do. That's what the price we have to pay. Otherwise, there's just no other alternative. So I think that, the job that if you've been offered something, you don't sign or take anything under this influence, because it's Mercury retrograde, and that's when things blow up, and that's when they do malicious things. Like you sign up for a job that looks also good and you're excited that you're going to get paid, and then they say, oh, by the way, here's your upcoming work schedule, which absolutely does not work for you at all. Or, perhaps there's no bus service, at the time that you're scheduled. Something just gets in the way, the job falls apart. So I would not start a new job. You can apply for work, but, don't actually like accept any offers until after the retrograde is over. So if you're sitting on a job offer right now, tell them, say, you just have to write back and say, I'm very interested in this position, but I've got some other things that I need to take a look at, so I'll get back with you. Beretta, what advice do you have about taking positions under this unfavorable period that we're in?
Well, that could be why I saw that she's probably not going to see anything for the next 3 weeks, which says to me Spirit is actually protecting her from having to make that decision or choice. Now, when you're forced in a position of your back's against the wall, you can't wait till Mercury goes direct. You've got to do what you need to, regardless of Mercury or anything else for that matter. Then you do what you can, knowing that you may have to redo and undo and then do again, but you do it, and that's basically the only way around understanding that Mercury is going to present problems. And if you can really just be very picky and careful about how you get into a situation, you're going to have problems. That's a given. But you may be able to mitigate a little bit of the extreme issues if you're just paying attention. Right now, like he said, just get into any entry level, anything, literally. Go stand behind a cash register, and because really, honestly, I think that this stepping stone, and that probably is why it is okay for you to go ahead and do it on Mercury right now, being retrograde because it's not going to matter. You're not keeping this job. And it may be easier for you to get into it doing a Mercury retrograde because you know it's going to go corrupt and eventually you're going to be out of it. And you're not going to have to work so hard to get out of it. So, for whatever it's worth, just use now, regardless of what the influencing factors are in the heavens or the ethers. Just pay attention to what you're doing now and move through each day momentarily and be in the moment. Take care of what you got to take care of, and things will turn out like they're supposed to, and you'll know what you have to do.
Okay.
90 seconds.
Okay, so
You should be all right. Just get your foot in the door anywhere, honey.
yeah, this is that trial period. It's got that Band-Aid's going to be ripped off in 3 weeks. So whatever you do now, it's going to go away. So just, I would normally advise you don't mess it up, but it's going to mess up anyway. So just don't be stressed out when it does.
Right. That's exactly right. It's going to mess up. It's a given. So maybe use
60
that as
seconds.
an opportunity that you would need to move on to something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Dion, it was great to have you on the show. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out. We'll be back with you guys on Saturday again at 3 p.m. for a 1-hour slot, unless we come up before then. For all other things Uranian Astrology, be sure to go out to eastrologer.net. You can get a hold of Veretta at verettavision.com. And be sure to like our Facebook page because we're posting out there too now. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. And Veretta, as always, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show with us.
Always fun. Always fun. Thank you for having me.
We will catch up with you all real soon. And until next time, we will see you guys on Saturday. Have a great week, everybody. Good luck and Godspeed.
Bye-bye.